All right, let's get the read from all of this with Republican Congressman Brian Babin, fine state of Texas. Congressman, how do you think it's looking for the appointees thus far, all of them?
I think it's looking real good, Neil. I think it was a great first step when the Senate Armed Services Committee just voted 24-3 to grant General Mattis his waiver. I'm very optimistic that we'll see these three individuals confirmed.
Do we know the three, or do you know any of the three who didn't?
The only one I know is just what I heard on your broadcast, and that's Elizabeth Warren.
Right. Okay, that's what I heard too. All right. So that waiver goes. He's expected to pass. What's interesting is some of the foreign policy candidates have presented a somewhat different view, let's say, of Russia than has been espoused by Donald Trump. And I don't know whether they reconcile that. This is all part of the confirmation process where they can't be too edgy on this subject, that to a man they agree that Russia was behind a lot of the hacking going on in the election. They don't think it affected the outcome, but they aren't going to go so far or stand behind the type of reaction that Barack Obama has had to kick diplomats out or maybe even continue with sanctions. What do you make of that?
Well, you know, the Obama administration has been in, they've had the White House for 8 years now. And, hey, what's new about Russia hacking and spying and creating mischief? And then all of a sudden they lose an election and it's front and center, and he's sending 30-some-odd Russian diplomats packing and trying to, I think, cast some aspersions on the election of Donald J. Trump. Do I trust Mr. Putin? Absolutely not. I feel like the Russians have been bad actors for a long, long time. However, we do have some common enemies and some common problems, and if we can work across, you know, hand in hand with them on these problems, I certainly hope we can. But I'm very, very elated with these three appointments. Mike Pompeo is a great guy. Been on select intel here for a long time. And General Mattis, I think, is an excellent choice as Secretary of Defense. As a veteran myself, I have a son who was a Navy SEAL for many years. And, you know, I can tell you, one of the first phone calls I made was to my son when I heard that General Mattis had gotten the nod from Mr. Trump. And he said, hey, great guy. My son said, great guy. The folks like him in the military. So I'm very, very happy. Listen, I believe in civilian control of our military, but this man needs this waiver. The military is greatly diminished. Department of Defense has some problems, and we need to rebuild. And I think General Mattis is just the man to do that. And Mike Pompeo needs to take the helm over at CIA, which has obviously got some, you know, some political problems going on there.
What did you make of Chuck Schumer trying to say, and I'm paraphrasing here, sir, that it's generally not a good idea to take on or question the intelligence community? It almost sounded like a threat leveled at Donald Trump, that these guys can go back to bite you. And lo and behold, then we get this revelation of a report with very scant evidence. The intelligence community says it wasn't coming from them, that was meant to be an embarrassment to Donald Trump. And I'm thinking, A, when did he know that? B, why would he talk like that? What do you think?
I'm like you. It makes me wonder what in the heck is going on. And it looks to me like Mike Pompeo is going to have his work cut out for him when he gets over there and gets confirmed. And I think it's just throwing a lot of hurdles and roadblocks.
Well, do you agree do you agree, Congressman, when James Clapper, the Director of National Intelligence, apparently phoned the President-elect to say, hey, we didn't leak this. It's not us. I mean, he obviously went out of his way to try to, you know, assure Mr. Trump it wasn't coming from them. Well, it came from somebody. Absolutely. And
you know what, I would be speaking out of ignorance, Neil, if I wanted to talk directly to that, because it is very strange, I can tell you that.
Switching gears on this domestic issue and health care, Speaker Ryan maybe added more confusion to this, I don't think intentionally, when he talked about how this was going to be repealed and then replaced. I want you to react to this. Speaker Ryan, a little while ago.
We're working on an aggressive timetable. We're going to work the process as best we can. We're not holding hard deadlines only because we want to get it right. Again, we need to move quickly because the law is collapsing, but we also want to get it right. And we're going to go through regular order, unlike what the Democrats did.
What does regular order mean, Congressman? Because I had Rand Paul on this show saying repeal and replace simultaneously. Now that doesn't look, I guess, likely. So repeal and then replace as soon as you can. That's Donald Trump's latest directive. Where are you on this?
Well, this is a convoluted process. There's no question. But look at Obamacare itself. It is a hopelessly convoluted, complex, confusing mass, 2,500 pages long, that the Democrats passed without one single Republican, and they hadn't read the bill yet, as we so famously heard Mrs. Pelosi say. And I'm a health care provider, and I campaigned to get rid of Obamacare, to repeal it and replace it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Do I like the numbers of the budget resolution? Not really, but it's a vehicle. This is not a budget. This is going to be revisited later. The main thing is going to be a vehicle to be able to repeal this terrible, terrible law that is hurting Americans, small businesses, individuals, families, and give us a chance to replace it. And we keep hearing that we don't have a replacement plan yet. Well, that's wrong. We have a lot of replacement plans to choose
that's
from.
the problem. I'm glad you said that, sir, because, you know, Republicans get the rap, oh, yeah, they're good at ripping things up, but the dirty little secret has hardly been a secret. I mean, I've been following this a bit too closely, and the one problem you guys have is that you have too many alternative plans. Have you coalesced around one? I mean, there are dozens, literally dozens out there, but have you coalesced around one that obviously you will agree on covering pre-existing conditions, keeping kids on a policy longer, but are there some new features as far as paying for it?
Well, you know, I am in the Republican Study Committee, and I certainly am supporting that. And we rolled that out last week, as a matter of fact. It's a good conservative plan. It has all those features what you just said, plus many others. It gives you a deduction of $7,500 an individual and $20,500 for families. It enables you to have health savings accounts. You know, there's just so many things that we could do to empower American people again, so that they would have the choices. Right now, 1/3 of the states in this country don't have but one choice because of the death spiral that Obamacare is in. And we want to give folks a chance to choose the policies that they want, to choose the doctors they want, and have a deductible that is reasonable. Listen, even in my own family, I have 5 children. My youngest daughter and her husband and their 3 children are paying. They're essentially paying a house mortgage every month and every year for what they're paying for their health care, and can't use it because of the extremely high deductibles. They're at a $6,600 deductible, and that's individual. And there's 5 of them, so you basically have a deductible conceivably at $33,000, and then they're paying $12,000 because it's $1,000 a month for their premium. So people need relief, and we want to rescue them. We want to empower the American people, and that's what it's all about, Neil.